we've been around for 6 years now, and we started out with around 30 people, and Apeiron was actually the project that started this all. Um, I founded the company with Apeiron in mind. I wanted to recreate God games, and I was actually not a game developer. I was a private equity investor and a management consultant before that. But I've been a very, very competitive and avid gamer all my life, and it's been my dream to create my own game. So I thought the time was right in 2016, and I began to find my co-founders. I took a spin around Asia for 6 months, and I found Orange. Orange is also a co-founder. He's been in the game development industry for over 16 to 17 years now. And he's a very active member in the Hong Kong game development industry. He sits on the boards and panels that approve government funding for other developers. And we built a team of 30 in the beginning to work on Apeiron. And we've went through many prototypes, and to this day, our team grew to around 120 people around the world. And we've been trying to get Apeiron out ever since. We're close to it now. And as for the team, the original 30 members, the core team members, they have either been in the game development or in the animation or in the toy development industry for over 10 years before they joined us. And they've been working in other giant game studios or co-developed games for other giant game companies like Konami, Sega. A lot of our team members have also helped co-develop games for Animalcare, and before Animalcare was Blaze as well. And they are a really experienced team, and that's pretty much everyone. And yep, probably shouldn't go into a lot more details. I'll save it for later. And yeah, that's the team, and that's me. Oh, am I still here? Hello.
I really love your graphics, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, the team, the experience, though they haven't been in the development for any real triple A games, but their experience is actually very, very in depth. And if you take a look at our teasers, our graphics, they are even the real triple A publishers and developers say these are really, really great graphics. That's why we got some of the best Web2 developers and publishers investing in our profit round as well. Hmm. Is everything okay? Am I lagging? Let me take a look. Hmm.
My connection just went off for a minute.
No, that's okay. I'll rely on my community's general chat to tell me if everything's okay then.
So my next question for you would be please tell us about your project and share with us the motive in creating it.
Well, the project itself is a recreation of God games. God games are pretty popular in the year 2000s, and popular to black and white as Ball, and then evolved into The Sims. They are pretty much a hybrid genre, involving simulation, real-time strategy, artificial life, and some role-playing. It's one of my favorite genres out there, but you don't see a lot of them nowadays because it's really hard to recreate, and not a lot of developers and publishers are willing to take the risk. But there's always something special about this game, especially black and white in my heart. And when I was starting out to find my own game development company, I was trying to find something that is unique out there that one cannot find, but is also extremely fun to play. And black and white pretty much came very close to it. So we started out by creating our own God game. And then we started out on the mobile platform because it's a selfish reason. I don't really have time to play in long seatings anymore, so I wanted to develop a game with more fragmented game time so I can play it. But it evolved, the team grew, the project grew, and we really want to work on the franchise angle. And so the more and more we find that the free-to-play model doesn't really fit it. Luckily came blockchain games, and we studied the many blockchain games last year, especially Xe, and we found it to be a great model with which Apeiron could be built on. Of course, we don't just want to copy another Xe model, so we took our time to develop our own tokenomics and our own idea of what a blockchain game should be. And that's where we gave birth to two more systems around Apeiron to turn it into a real blockchain game. And the main difference you'll see compared with other blockchain is that Apple is really built with the game as its very core. We still do a lot of development and research on tokenomics, but we believe in NFTs, in the player ownership. We believe in as long as the game is great and fun to play, our game economy can ride out through the cycles. And we've put a lot of dedication and work into this economy that we've developing, this 3-token economy, as well as the NFTs that interact with it, to create something different and something that hopefully can last through different cycles of tokens up and downs. And yeah, so the game itself, well, if you haven't seen the two teasers, please take a look. Those two are not cinematics. Those are actual game prototypes we have developed over the years. The two core components of Apeiron is the God game simulation and the esports card-based esports-esque battle. And they are very unique. Each game element, the planet and the battle, is both unique, not just to Web3, but unique to the entire gaming industry. You can't find any similar gameplay, artwork, or story anywhere else. And a final touch about this is around everything in Apeiron is the fundamental theme of alignment, good and evil. You can find it both in our game and in our community Discord and in the future functions on the blockchain. It will revolve around the idea of good and evil. Everything you do will be measured by an alignment. If you treat the dudes, the dudes are these yellow chubby creatures. You'll see them everywhere around Apeiron. And we actually have a plush doll that we will be airdropping to, next week. And how you treat these dudes will affect the not just the outlook of your planet, but also the skills you use in combat, and eventually how the story, the Canyon story in Apeiron evolves. There's a lot down the line, and I'll say that in a later question. I'll save that up. And that's pretty much it, Apeiron in a nutshell. The motivation behind it all is I just really love games, and I really want to create a. It started out as I really wanted to create a great mobile game. I think the mobile platform was actually a great invention, so to speak, and it's a great way to reach out to a lot of different players. And it did. The mobile game industry boomed. But when I looked into the mobile games that are being developed, early in 2016, 2015, it was the freemium model is great. It made a lot of money, and the microtransactions is also very lucrative. But it caused a lot of developers to, instead of completing their game, they began to publish a game, reskin it, and publish another one, but they don't really complete them. And I really want to create a mobile game that's complete. It will take more time, and it wouldn't be as cost efficient. But I think if we can turn a game into a complete game, it can then become a franchise. And franchises have a much longer lifespan and can become much more than just reskin games and other things. Well, actually, I won't dilly-dally. Let's focus on the next question, and I'll be happy to talk more about this a little later.
All right. Can you tell us some of the latest achievements made by your project and describe the current development efforts?
Okay. The previous achievements. This is actually a pretty old slide. I have to update it. We are probably one of the biggest pure token raised projects out there. We've raised over 20 million now, 17 million from the investment rounds, from private round, seed round, and pre-seed pure token raise, with NFTs. And then also 4.5 from our Easter pre-sales. So in total, I think we're sitting at around 21 million now. We should be one of the games that raised probably one of the biggest raises in the GameFi history so far, and with one game. And it's quite an achievement. We took our time to meet a lot of different people, and we are now talking to a lot of Web2 entities. Our investment rounds don't just involve the crypto natives. We have the gaming guilds, the investment funds, the marketing funds, marketers, but we're also invested by a lot of other big partners that will help us evolve Apeiron beyond a Web3 game. Our achievements involve we did a pretty successful pre-sale. Wasn't sold out, but we sold 4.5 million US dollars worth of planets, and the floor price throughout May during Luna and the USDC, I mean the USDT, almost the sorry, well, just during the May drop, our floor price didn't drop at all. In fact, it rose, and it only dropped back down a little because we started breeding. And so, in terms of recent developments, yes, we opened up breeding, and we're preparing for in July our coming game demo, which will release the battle part of the equation. And so we'll be streaming the battle of Apeiron, the special game demo dungeons that we created. And after the streaming, next month we will subsequently release it to our planet holders and our partners to play, to test it. And yeah, well, there's also a star and land sales coming up. Quite a lot of things happening. We've been quite dormant in the past 2 months because of the markets. We turned off the marketing. We turned inward towards more community engagement events. But with the coming game demo coming out and with the star sales coming out, we are starting back our marketing efforts and building more users as we go along. It's quite a lot happening. But July and August will be quite interesting months ahead. Yeah. Hello.
Interesting. I was actually surprised when I saw Hashed because every now and then I have a look at the portfolio, and I know that all the projects that are under Hashed are pretty big. So I was really, really surprised to see Hashed.
Oh, thank you. Well, we are pretty honored to have them, and we chose Hash as well to be sort of on a more anchor position because Apeiron's ultimate goal is to become an esports game with merchandise and franchising options. So Korea is really doing great. I mean, they are one of the few industries that's capable to really get on the world stage, so to speak. In the old days, only the United States and the Japan stories IPs can get out, but the recent development from Korea, the esports industry, the pop culture industry, the movies, TV series are all exporting out, and we want to emulate this success to turn Apeiron into a global franchise. We have plush dolls, we have action figures, we have physical gaming cards, and then we have esports, and we want to develop into animations and movies. And so it's quite ambitious. And so it's not just Hash, actually. Our investment rounds involve partners in every step of this way, from physical gaming cards to toy manufacturers to animation companies, esports teams, streaming platforms. So yeah, it's a bit of everyone actually.
I see. My next question for you would be, what are the token metrics and ecosystem? Please explain it to our community.
Sure. This will be a pretty long one. So hang tight. So, the token metrics. We we studied the two token model for a long time from Axie. We believe it's great, and we actually try to develop our game using two tokens. But the more we try to simulate the expansion of the game, the mass adoption of users, and the fluctuations of the economy, the more we find that it's actually impossible to balance the economy with just two tokens. And there are several problems that we identified: the retention, the um, the inflation, and also the growing disparity between the so-called givers and takers of an economy. So, in order to do that, we looked into a third token. Instead of using control alone by introducing sinks and recycle mechanisms, we think offering choice is actually a great thing to incorporate the third token, because turning a game economy into a real economy involves a lot of different participants. There are speculators, there are investors, there's normal gamers, pro gamers, grinders, scholars, and they all come in different size and forms. They don't come in as individual retailers. They don't just come in as individuals. A lot of them come in as groups, and they hold a lot of sway over the prices and input output of each token. And the less tokens we see, the less actually we are able to control it. So we look to develop this third token, and this third token is developed with game retention in mind. Um, Retention means it's how users come back, how gamers, users, and investors can come back into the economy. This third token is regularity, and I'll talk about the first two quickly first. The first two is actually highly similar to Axie. You got the governance tokens, Apeiron, similar to AXS. You got Anima, similar to SLP or Apeiron. But the play-to-earn token is more single-player oriented, while the third token, Regularity, is multiplayer oriented. You see, most of the games out there that typically lasts a long time uh, are centered around alliance gameplay, guild gameplay, social dynamics, and this helps players come back, because when your friends are playing, you typically stay longer, and you like to develop the relationships online. So this third token is designed with this in mind. And Apeiron is very big on alliance gameplay, on multiplayer gameplay. The card game simulation and the battle is half of the equation. The other half is in really giant epic alliance battles, multiplayer efforts. And with these three tokens, we we introduce a three token economy that's modeled after physical gaming cards. It's like the first two tokens you breed, you will enhance your planets, you will age them, you will create different gears and equipments for your planets. This is the process of building your deck. It's a deck building game actually at the core. When you breed your planets, you are creating new decks and mixing decks to try to find the ideal mix. And you'll be using the first two tokens to do that. And then you'll be using each token individually in the form of creating gears to enhance it or to age your planets uh, to allow you to equip more equipments. So you'll be slowly building your decks with the first two tokens. And when you can achieve that, you will participate in the giant tournaments, especially the ones where the giant alliances are involved. And you will earn our third token. The third token is related with two things. The first thing is a seasons concept. Apeiron involves 12 galaxies. Each galaxy is a giant expansion pack centered around new content and new gameplay methods. We will only release one every year, one or two every year, and it's very limited. And you have to bid for them using our third token. And if you manage to get your hands on them, though, it's pretty much monopolizing the next generation of planets and trading cards. And every time you breed, you'll be able to set the price like monopoly or an oligopoly alone. And it triggers a new breeding cycle as players and guilds try to incorporate these new playing decks and cards into their armory. The other play method, utility of the third token, is actually, well, gambling. There'll be a lot of esports tournaments and giant GVG events in that one, seasonal and cyclical in nature. Every time these tournaments happen, holders of the third token can bet on the winning teams, on the pro players or the guilds that participate in the tournaments. And yeah, so we got these three tokens that feed back to one single philosophy and theme, and that's the NFTs actually. We expect our governance tokens and our NFTs to continue to rise in price and value throughout time. Apeiron has a unique take on the positioning of our game. We position ourselves as a premium paid app with win to earn and team and earn experiences. The value of the NFTs should rise together with the player efforts, time, and dedication spent. And for the free-to-play elements and the play-to-earn elements, we actually shine quite a different light to them. For the free-to-play elements and the play-to-earn elements, we believe they are both actually hyperinflationary. What a lot of games are doing now is combining the two. If you have a play-to-earn game that advertises the extraction of resources from your economy, and you offer players the ability to play for free, it's actually a double hyperinflation that's going to destroy a lot of the economy that's being built up, or if it's getting built up at all. So we are actually not going to go that route. We still have a free-to-play option, and that's free at the gaming guilds. We believe gaming guilds are actually one of the core backbones that rose from the rise of GameFi and play-to-earn. And they are actually the ideal free-to-play portals into many Web3 games, and many other games actually in Web2 as well. To form the economy and the backbone of Apeiron, we are doing two things. From a developer's angle, we are creating quite a complex game. So players need to specialize and find their ways to cooperate to get different resources and to work together to earn efficiently in tournaments and everything, of course. And then off the game, we have merchandise, franchising, animations, and movies to support it, so that people actually don't just enjoy the game, they're here to enjoy the franchise and the stories. On the acquisition side, with the gaming guilds, these gaming guilds we're partnering with, there's 22 of them actually right now, and growing actually, 24 now. And these gaming guilds don't just run on a play-to-earn scholarship model. Three of them will run it to the end. But most of the other gaming guilds that we source right now are gaming guilds that will evolve into launch pads, into metaverse platforms, esports teams, win-to-earn guilds, tournament hosting platforms, node farming, game design initiatives. And I source each of one of these gaming guilds not just by looking at their roadmaps or their management. I actually look into every gaming guild Discord and communities to make sure that the scholars, the quality of the conversations, don't just revolve around them earning, extracting, or flipping stuff. These gaming guilds I partner with, they are people who are genuinely interested in Web3, believe in its blockchain, and they will make their own investments, and they're genuinely interested in gaming. And they are here to partner with us to form pretty much a very early backbone of our economy. They invest in our tokens and our NFTs, and they've been holding it pretty strongly since the beginning. But of course, at the end of the day, a lot of gaming guilds are still a conglomerate of players that look to maximize their utility. So in Apeiron, when we have so many gaming guilds, we actually also introduced the concept of GVG, giant alliance battles, seasonal and cyclical, and esports events to pit all these giant teams, alliances, and gaming guilds against each other in cyclical tournaments to efficiently earn. They all know this, they all understand this, and they all love it because they're all gamers themselves. But of course, that's just half of the equation. In Apeiron, in order to earn efficiently, both investors and gamers have multiple different currencies and NFT assets with which they can play or invest in. On the gaming side, Apeiron features 4 gameplay mechanisms, 3 tokens, and 4 NFTs for players to earn. If you want to play Apeiron, you can you should focus on the style that you like to play. If you are a hardcore or mid-core gamer, you can focus on the battle and the arenas, follow the game meta, or into the dungeons, which is endless, and both have different styles of gameplay, and both requires different challenges, and both very rewarding if you get to the late and top end. If you are a casual gamer or a scholar or someone who looks to grind and just earn tokens, then you can focus on the simulation side of the equation. Apeiron actually can be treated just like a farm game. You can just come back here, water your plants, poke your dudes once a day, and off you go to do other stuff. In very long gameplay cycles, you can actually groom the giant volcano and waterfalls, and the dudes will build your pyramids. These wonders are all equipment and gear for your planets, and they provide powerful passive bonuses, and they can be turned into NFTs to be sold on the markets. Or you can be a grinder and try to reset the planets on a weekly basis. We don't encourage a daily extraction. We don't allow players to reset or earn tokens daily. They come here on a weekly basis and they can reset the planets, sacrifice all the paperwork and turning them into play-to-earn tokens. It's not easy. Nothing in Apeiron will be that easy, but it will be fun, and it's fun to stream. I guarantee that. And each player can earn their own resources, their own assets, and they will always work together as a team to take on the group and alliance challenges, because it is only through the alliance challenges that you can unlock and get regularity to get the best rewards, the best staking and liquidity post staking rewards. So that's how the 3 tokens work, and from what I tell right now. The exact details will be more as we release it, closer to game launch, of course. But yeah, there you have it. A new tokenomics model, a new look into trying to sustain, build a sustainable economy. We believe a strong game core with a variable and flexible token mechanics is necessary to weather the cycles and to adapt to the changes of Web3, instead of building a very, very rigid tokenomics core that may crumble if the economy crumbles. Yeah, there you have it. Oh, did I lose you guys? Are you guys still here?
I have a question actually. What is Alliance gameplay?
Alliance gameplay. Oh, so in Apeiron, this is the game map of Apeiron, a concept game map, and it's actually a universe. Much of the gameplay in the beginning revolves around single-player gameplay. It's grooming your own planet, going into the dungeons, fighting with your apostle armies. But that's just the early stage of the gameplay. In the mid to late stage gameplays, you have to join an alliance. How do you join an alliance? You have to orbit your planet around a sun, a star. The suns and stars of Apeiron is actually the land of Apeiron. And once you are in the solar system, a solar system or star system is an alliance. It is then you can join up with other players to fight world bosses, to fight dungeon raids, giant clan wars and battlegrounds, all require the teamwork of multiple players, a guild, an alliance, to complete together. And these challenges are very tough and cannot be completed alone. And you'll be finding your friends or people online or the gaming guilds that partner with us to take on these challenges. And a lot of these challenges are against each other as well. And so the competitions will be quite epic. Each expansion pack features a brand new content. In the beginning, it will be like clan wars in Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, where you have your own planets and you have to conquer the other ones. And then it will evolve to become more like simulation games, where it involves the giant battle for the throne at the center of a galaxy. And then it evolves into multiplayer cooperation modes to 2v2s, 3v3s, and ultimately at the end it sits at the LOL MOBA style form of giant battlegrounds. It's quite a lot of different ways with which giant alliance gaming guilds can interact, and they are all very competitive. That's how you get the third token. It's not easy. Does that answer your question regarding the alliance gameplay?
Yeah, that made it very clear. So it's something similar to a guild where you work together to accomplish missions and such.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
So my next question for you would be, what is the progress of the business development and what are some of your partnerships?
Oh, uh, well, we try to find partners every step of the way. In the beginning, it's the gaming guilds and the crypto natives. So we got a lot of the gaming guilds. The gaming guilds, some of them are esports backed, and then so the business development and the partners are structured just like our plans for Apeiron. We start out from the Web3, hence you see these Web3 investors and gaming guilds. But then we move quickly early next year into esports. We'll be hosting giant esports tournaments, streaming it heavily. That's where we have Hashed, we have esports teams, we have Twitch co-founders and streamers partner with us. And at the same time, we're into merchandise development. We have one of the biggest toy manufacturing companies for games partner with us. Go Lucky is the company that manufacture toys for Blizzard and Witchers, and they are invested in us and partner with us to help us create action figures and collectibles. And then we have physical gaming cards. Singh here is actually the founder of MTG Min Card and Saka Saka, the biggest physical gaming card community and a distributor and tournament hoster for Pokemon, for Magic the Gathering, and for Yu-Gi-Oh! Physical gaming cards. And then we have developers. We have giant AAA developers and publishers that partners with us. So Apeiron will move from a Web3 game to esports, to physical gaming cards, to merchandises, and then animation and movies also planned. The stories of Apeiron revolve around different creation myths from around the world, and we're going to reimagine and reinvent them in very duty and funny style. Movies and animations that promote different cultures and their mythology. And Apeiron will evolve to have more other games and stories and comics. And all of these, most of them will actually become NFTs. And their utility and the funding will all be rooted back to this flagship franchise, where both our governance tokens and our core planet NFTs make up a bulk of this ecosystem. And recently, with the closing of our private and community rounds, we're also partnering with a lot of different KOLs and communities, such as well, I shouldn't name them, but to help us promote Apeiron in various regions, uh, and and yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of Apeiron coming up now that our game demo and our star sales is going to come up, and our token launch is scheduled to be in September right now. Hopefully, the markets will recover a bit back then, and it will be a direct listing on a centralized exchange, and more info will be covered closer to the time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The business development side in a nutshell.
The part about the esports tournaments, is that confirmed or?
The esports tournaments, actually, well, yeah, we are doing practice as we speak. Next 2 weeks will be our mini esports tournaments we host with our gaming guild partners. We're trying to find 16 teams across the gaming guilds to play League of Legends, so that our community and our own team can learn to host esports events better. This is the first practice esports event is playing League of Legends. The second one is the bigger one, and that one will be playing other esports games, and it will end with Apeiron, the game launch. as the esports teams play Apeiron for the finals. And then there'll be some more esports mini tournaments, but the real one, the real giant one, is with Hashed in Korea in a stadium, offline and online, of course, in Q1 next year, and it will be pretty epic.
Oh, that is really exciting, to be honest.
Yeah, hope so.
My next question for you would be: could you expand our knowledge about your roadmap this year and the future, and any updates on your research and development progress?
Oh, sure. So the game demo is coming out this month. We'll be streaming it, and you'll be playing it. We'll be streaming it this month. You'll be playing it next month. The Star Whitelist sales is beginning towards the middle of July, and on our first, it will be a very limited sale. We have 11,000 stars in the universe. We're only selling around 600 of them at the center of the universe, and then the marketplace is opening up next month. There's a new staking system that's coming live at the end of July as well. It's being audited by two firms right now, Backshield and Softness was it the name? And October, August will be pretty much game testing with different communities and asset holders. September is our token launch. The community round will be there, and then the game launches in October. We'll be testing and playing and hosting mini esports events throughout the Q4 of this year. And once everything is in place, once we are confident, the real tournament begins next year early, and it will be a regional first, leading up to the plane tickets to Korea, I guess, to host the finals. And that will be the kickoff of the third token. The Alliance content will come in Q1, at the end of Q1, with the Shinto mythology galaxy in place, the Japanese galaxy, and the giant esports, the GVG events, and the third token will come live. That's actually also the time we will begin our licensing events, and you'll be seeing our first animation and our pilot series and a trailer for the movies. And with that, we will move on to an equity fundraising round, a really, really giant equity fundraising round, and to turn Apeiron into a franchise. Throughout these times, merchandise is being developed, plushie dolls, action figures, shirts, cups, accessories, and and everything, almost everything will be NFTs, and the privileges, the accesses, the everything will be based on the governance tokens and the planets, of course, the primeval planets, and we actually have a much longer and grander vision beyond this. Not sure if you guys are ready for that. You just think we're pure BS over there. But we've laid some ground roads to develop Apeiron into the Chinese networks as well. Being located in China and Hong Kong, we do want to promote Apeiron in the Chinese markets. Chinese markets, as closed off as their metaverse or their blockchain networks may be, they are still developing their own blockchains and technologies, and they're actually allowing NFTs. And Apeiron is amongst the first NFT games that will enter China legally. It's quite an interesting system, but I guess I will reveal more of it early next year. But we're already in talks with a lot of different parties around the world to integrate Apeiron into different economies and industries, because we want to set the seeds down early to turn Apeiron into a franchise, and play to earn, and will evolve to become something else very, very soon, and we want to be at the top of that. Oh, is it getting too fake? We'll
Yeah.
focus on the game first.
All right. So that would be our last question. Since we are running out of time, we will head on to community questions. We'll have three
Oh,
community
yes.
questions, and then we will also have two questions from Twitter.
All right.
All right. So we can start with the community questions. So what you can
Sure.
do is you can see those emojis of hand up on the side.
Mhm.
And there will be a lot of
Oh,
people picking their hands up, so you can choose one, any three of the following members, and you can just click on it, and then you'll allow them to speak.
okay. Let me think. So I'll see things hands up. Oh, I see one hands up. I see fight underworld hands up. When I see lucky ace hands up. So do I click on them or
Click on the hand up and allow to speak.
I don't think I can do that, can I?
Okay, let me
I
do
think
that. Let me do that for you.
can. Yeah, can you do that?
Hi, my question is what makes your project stand out in the eyes of the investors? Some project developers abandon the concept because they are unable to deliver what is desired in the long run. How do you intend to make this project financially viable in the long run? Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you for the questions. I haven't answered this one in quite some time. But to make this project stand out, we uh, we we actually are going to spend quite a lot of time developing a different form of TGE and community. Uh, we believe in NFTs and blockchain and the technologies it entails, but we don't exactly believe in the hype-based model. It is very prevalent nowadays. We want to um, we actually want to stay away from this hype-based model. So even our TGE is not going to be a couple launch or a Dutch sale event. We're going straight for a direct listing, and then we're going to start lower in volume and liquidity and price. But then we will work our way up because we want to create a token trend that's upward slowly. And we want to make sure that our community is educated in that and that we are not going to sacrifice our long-term economy for short-term gains. Meaning, from a token perspective, it's not going to be a 20 times, 30 times launch. I will market make the crap out of the ceiling if that happens, and I will ensure a smooth upward token trend so that all uh, investors and also token holders will see a slow upward rise in the price, coupled with the game launch, content unlocks, and marketing efforts. And in terms of the game utility and the planet utility, our planet Primeval Planet NFTs is actually quite harsh. We we don't give out as many gifts or rewards or incentives as other games or NFT projects. But we don't do that because we think we don't want to sacrifice the long run of the economy for a sellout or in the short term. And we really want to ensure that the planets remained at a good price and will continue to rise in value. And our community understands the advantages of holding it in the long run to be able to breed, to sell, to form their own alliances, their own giant distribution networks. And also they'll be entailed to different types of other rewards that won't affect the game balance. This is how we stay healthy in the long run by carefully planning our game economy and not making sacrifices too early. And then we will also be branching out very early into franchising, into animations to turn Apeiron into something beyond just the game. And the gameplay mechanics and everything we have spent many years preparing and developing, and we're very protective of our developments and our games. So you won't be seeing any parts of the game that we won't show, meaning players will only get to test the ones we want them to test. The breeding will be tested, the battles will be tested, but the god game simulation we will hold it very close to us because we want to release it when the timing is right, when we can release it in bulk at the maximum marketing efforts but unfortunately that entails a better economy. So we will have it all ready, and so we do this because it's less easier for other people to emulate. If we release the planet simulation in phases, like our battle, it's actually a lot easier for competitors to copy it off. We want to release everything in bulk and in full force so we can get as much market share as we can, and it will deter other ones from copying us or emulating us. Probably easier to invest in us in that case. And in the long run, it's just scaling up, trying to find the right company culture, to give out the right incentives, to get the right talents, and get the right stories out. And we have very experienced co-founders and management here who have been in giant conglomerates, witnessed giant conglomerates in different industries rise and fall. I've been in the management consulting and private equity for quite a long time, looking at what makes companies last and thrive. So I'm pretty confident we have the basic backbones down to set the course for this action. But of course, well, at the end of the day, it's how closely we can evolve and develop together with the community. That's why we have a lot of investment partners actually compared with well, we don't have a lot, but actually we have a lot of dedicated investment partners. We actually raised a lot of tokens, a lot of money, but with few investors, because we want each investor to take a larger portion, to have more skin in the game. And so we take more time and attention from them, and we seek each investor out strategically. We don't just accept them the moment they say they're willing to put money in us. We're trying to find positions that fit the roadmap so we can work and grow together. And that's how we differentiate from the competition in the early days, I guess. In the mid to the late runs, I think it all comes down to talents and the ability for the team to adjust to environments. And hopefully we will recruit more talents once the game is out. Once the initial traction is out, we can attract more talent to our cause. Well, that's a pretty long answer to this question. I hope you find the answer satisfying. Let's pick another question from the
Thank you.
crowds. Yeah. Ooh, Eric. Can we pick Eric, dude? I don't think I've ever answered a question from this fellow fan from my own community.
Okay, you can pick the next user that you want to ask questions. Who would you like to speak next?
Pick Eric, dude.
Eric.
ERIC.
Okay,
This one is from the Apeiron community.
you can speak.
Hi, Eric. Can you speak? Are you here, Eric? Timer. Well, I guess we can skip Eric if he is not here. Well, let's pick another one.
Okay, let's pick another one then.
I see Catherine Reyes, Crypto Hunter.
Okay, Catherine, you can speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Here's my question. As I have seen in your web, one can grow planet until it can grow anymore, then reset the planetary cycle. In this concept, can you name some features that can make your project more attractive or competitive than others? And what are your most assured competitive advantages?
Okay. So regarding the reset system, the reset system is actually a blockchain function that we incorporated late once we decided to change into a blockchain game last year. The reset mechanic functions like this. You can only reset at most, at earliest, once a week. And the moment you reset your planet, you are sacrificing all the play progress you have created. this turns your dudes, your gears, your planets, your apostles into play-to-earn tokens or into soul gems to level up your player account, or you can create more other equipments. And this mechanism is borrowed from tap-tap games and roguelike dungeon cycles. You see, in order to keep the game fresh, we have to find ways that to promote the longevity of the franchise. So we need to find gameplay mechanics that can be replayable forever. And there's a few game genres out there that's highly replayable. Roguelike is one of them. So each time you reset your planets, the dungeons, the challenges, the planets themselves, the requirements all reset, giving you a different set of challenges. But you also grow a little more powerful each time. And you have the ability to equip equipments and relics to make your game cycle even more powerful. And and players will come back to play each time to grow a more impressive planet, earn a little more each time until they get the hang of it. And at the end of the cycle, when you reset to the point that you are at the maximum of your level and you've got all your talents and your system down and the relics down, you can participate and you can you can participate earlier, but you will be able to shine and you will be able to really uh, make a difference in the giant alliance wars and the esports tournaments, and you'll be much more powerful. It's like reaching the max level in the MMORPG game, and then there'll be a lot of other contents opened up, and it presents a really different type of game style out there, and the reset alone offers different play styles for different people. You can reset it for the play to earn tokens. Or you can reset it to create gear, to farm equipment, or you can play really long cycles. That's when the equipment, the relics will be farmed and groomed, and resetting also earns you special tokens based on good and evil that can evolve your talents in late games. So players are encouraged to play according to their own. And this reset mechanism is pretty much also the on-chain functions. So you only do it once a week. So normally your game experiences wouldn't be affected by on-chain functions like paying gas fees, waiting for on-chain developments. Everything, all the gameplay will be done in the game servers on the APK on your phones in an app. And so it's the game experience itself will be seamless. While the on-chain functions you only have to perform once a week, and it's on the browser. And hopefully the technology then will be easier, so there'll be less wait time as well. And we're on Polygon, so it's pretty cheap and pretty fast. And to win against the competition, it's I think it comes down to really making the dudes cute. The dudes themselves are artificial life. They will evolve. We will constantly evolve them. They will become duder and duder. Well, not necessarily dumb, but how they interact, how they react, what they build. It's a connection that they will share with the players, and we model them like pets and pretty pesky pets. You can love them or you can hate them, and you can spoil them, and they will get spoiled, or they will get really fidgety, and you will get laughs here and there, and it will be coupled with many other franchise elements to make sure that our players love the dudes as much as they love the game. And that would be the defining difference. I guess it's this dude mascot that we have in bulk and in mass, and with a very cute bot. Yep.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Do we have time for one more question? Or do we go for the other ones?
For who?
Oh, there's time for one more question. Okay.
Oh,
Hello?
yeah. Hold on. I think I muted her. Who was it?
Oh, no, I haven't picked. You can pick one. I'm okay. I'll pick two.
Okay. Let's go for Moshi.
Moshi, sure.
Moshi, you can speak.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi, Moshi.
Can you share development roadmap and tell us about your upcoming plans? That is my question.
Okay. Let me see if I can answer this differently compared to my previous answer. The development roadmap. So, okay, I'll share a bit more in detail regarding the demo build and the release of the game. So, as I said previously, the game demo that's coming up is a dungeon demo. It will feature 7 levels, and you'll be using the one of our pure element planets, the air one, I believe, is the one, and you'll be controlling a wisdom. You'll be controlling the magic, the mage, the ranged hero, and you'll be able to select up to 4 apostles to accompany you. The apostles, I think we have 6 of them interchangeable in the dungeons for you to experience. And this game development build is not related with the planets that people hold, so we can pretty much send it to anyone or any account we approve. In the beginning, we will approve it to our investors who want to test the game first, and then it will subsequently be released to our planet holders, the Exordium planet holders, of course, from the primal to divine to mythic to arcane and mythic, and then the elementals, and then the gaming guilds will also be able to participate in a limited portion. And then from the game demos, we will release a PvP version and add to the functionality of that demo. Players will be able to select different planets to fight against other players. These are not the player planets yet. The player planets will come around, I guess, September, closer to the launch, and then so the demo will start from a PVE to a PvP, and then it will be the game launch. The game launch will be partnered with the Planet Simulation, and it will be in October. And then the simulation emerald will expand, and we will work on any bug fixes or balances as needed for another quarter until we begin the hosting of the tournaments. So from game launch until the first Giant Alliance expansion pack, that should be around 2 quarters, I'd say around 5 to 6 months of time until the Giant Alliance events come online, and there'll be a giant esports events before the Shinto Galaxy comes online. And that's the early development pipeline. And then we're scheduling around probably around 1 expansion pack a year after that, up to the 5th year. And then we will open up a small expansion pack and 2 a year. But ultimately, the development pipeline is one where we want to focus on our own game content development only in the early and the mid stage, around the 4th year mark. After the 4th and 5th year, hopefully when the technology is available to turn Apeiron into a fully on-chain game, then it will develop into a user-generated content approach, where the God game simulation evolves to become a system where players can shape their own worlds, form their own gameplay mechanics, and allow other players to play on their planets as dudes. And it's quite something. It's a Apeiron 1.5 in the development, and this is the longer development pipeline. And on top of this, just a quick speak on the marketplace coming up in August is the trading and the viewing of your own planet skills will be fully available in August when the marketplace comes online. You can trade there, you can breed there, you can already breed there, but you can trade there and you can take a look at what skills your premium planets have and the stats that your planets have. And so yeah, more info will be there, but take your time and breed first. And that's pretty much it. Any time for one more question?
So the next part of the questions we will have two Twitter questions from the Twitter community.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question from Sins it says in your white paper that the treasury will receive a portion of the marketplace fees and etc. But I was wondering if you'll use this treasury to support your token in doing buybacks to avoid extreme crash of your token.
If in the worst case scenario a buyback is needed, then of course yes, we can do that. But we honestly hope that wouldn't come to be because if you take at our tokenomics, we are actually pretty harsh on a lot of the token supply and demand, and it's and we actually have multiple sinks and mechanics to incentivize different users. Please take a look at the upcoming token staking mechanism that we're doing, our NFT and token staking mechanism that we're going to do called Nebula Expedition. It's quite novel actually, and it's indicator of what we're going to do with our future tokens as well. It can be pretty aggressive, or it could be very lenient, and it allows for a lot of different collaborations we can do with other projects. And so we have a very different view on tokenomics. But of course, at the core of the day, the treasury, much of the treasury goes straight back to the community and is controlled by the DAO. And so if the community wants to buy back, then it will be used to buy back all the tokens. But to be honest, I do expect ourselves to control much of the liquidity and volumes in the beginning. I don't think we are not using the token as a fundraising platform. We're actually wanting to use the token more as a marketing tool. So we will most definitely control a bulk of the token volumes early in the days, and together with the market makers. And it wouldn't be easy to really topple the price until we really open it up later as the game launches and small unlocks come along. But yeah, if you ask me, I wouldn't do it exactly the decentralized way, because the decentralized way, at least right now, is filled with speculators, and that would only result in super pump and dumps. And that's not what I envision for Apeiron. Not until blockchain becomes fully adoptable and more users come in with something beyond pure speculation purposes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the second question from Twitter is from Paul Lord DN. As indicated in your milestone, your project's game launch will initiate at a very bearish point in the market. How will you ensure that your tokens will not be waived? Okay, you just answered that question actually. Yeah.
Take another
one. Just hold on. Okay, I'm looking for one now. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, here's a question from Mark Lazaro. What is the inspiration of adding guild gameplays in the game? Most other NFT games don't incorporate guild wars or gameplays. Also, how are they planning to make this work with different players around the world? Can play real-time guild gameplay smoothly.
Mark Lazaro. This guy, I hope this is the mark from my community, because he gets picked every single AMA. There's a rotten luck with this guy. But yes, the gaming guild events. So the first question is regarding the why choose the gaming guilds or something. I can't quite make out of that. I'll answer that a bit later. But I can answer on the ping and the lag. Then you worry. we are not going to do it like other LOL games. We're actually closer in server structure to Clash Royale and Clash of Clans. This meaning that players actually create rooms or are directly connected with each other. Because Apeiron is, if you take a look at our battles, it's single player. There are no co-op modes in the beginning. So you're only going to directly connect with that player's phone or device or create a room via that. And the connection between you two is shared. So if you lag, they're lagging. Nobody will have an advantage. And then there's also the structure of the alliance wars. It will be closer to what Clash of Clan and Clash Royale have, the clan wars in the beginning. So you have a base. Most of the battle takes place as a group, but the battle itself runs on the two devices between you and your opponents. The strategy comes from organizing the wars together, who to attack, who to defend, who to send out, what formations we should be defending against certain types of players or gaming guilds. And this is the early alliance and guild gameplay. The focus that we stress on alliance and guild gameplay is because playing together is just more fun. Alliance gameplay is just the how games always thrive, and we think we created the third token with this in mind because shared that before, I'll share that again. This alliance reward cannot be rewarded simply by the governance token or the play turn token. The play turn token is single player reward for single player actions, daily actions, or different types of incentives. You can't put the multiplayer reward and the single player reward in the same pool. It creates an immense supply. And then for the governance token, yeah, we can reward multiplayer and governance tokens, but the amount of gameplay that we can design from a governance token is quite limited. We always say the best gameplay is always player initiated, and all the best sneak attacks and world boss clears has to be initiated by the players in order to make it enticing. And I always say, why put your eggs in the same basket? Why would we want to put the players, the groups, the gaming guilds, and the investors and speculators all in the same token? It's not reasonable. It's actually better that to put them into different baskets, but in order to efficiently earn, they need the other group or the other players or the other tokens help. This way, we force them into collaboration and cooperation and seek middle ground between the incentives of other players. We actually put the other players and the investors' incentives into each other. So they have to work together, and they have to work together as a team in the economy for it to thrive and for them to gain. I know it sounds very high concept when you don't have the actual tokens out, but don't worry, we're not releasing them all at once. The first token is coming out with the staking and everything everyone knows. Once the game out, the play to earn token is out. There'll be staking, liquidity pool staking. There'll be different mechanics you'll learn about. And then when the real unlock and when all the liquidity comes on, the third token will come into play and to easing and lose and make things up. And we will continue to create various merchandises and sales events centered around three tokens and different utility and events, so that all three of them can be used for different types of gains for different types of players or investors. That's pretty much it. Didn't quite catch the initial part. Hope I answered that.
All right. Thank you. That was a last question for today. Thank you very
Right.
much for your time.
Thank you for having me, guys.
We hope to see you again in the future.
Oh, I'll be back. I want to make to the Moonwalker chart. How do I get up that chart? Must I have my token out first?
Sorry.
If I want to get on the Moonwalker chart, the ranking that you did, must my tokens be out first?
I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. But yeah, maybe we can talk about it in the group and see. Yeah,
Sure.
but
To get on, and we'd love to see how you rank them because we are also trying to find projects we are bullish on, especially games, so we can work early on the metaverse integrations. But if you ask me, I'm still trying to find a really good one that's willing to work with us. It's very hard to reach out to other game projects sometimes. Yeah.
but
Well, thank you for having me, and don't forget to follow us on our Twitter and join our Telegram or Discord for some amazing events. We give out very generously a lot of different rewards, and it's just a fun community. And a last word for those in my community, I'll host a little extra AMA session in the Discord community and send out a little more rewards because I do realize I haven't really picked you guys recently. So I'll just host one right after this. Okay, get on the Discord and I'll answer some more questions over there. And that's pretty much it.
but
Thank you, Moonwalker.
then bye.